Hey, Shalom, Shabbat, say what's going on with you. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shabbat, like a thumb, Yahweh Shemar, thumb by Shem Yahweh Shai. I.S.U.P.K, Kentucky, Wednesday, law class. I'm going to be holding it down for Officer 1000, Sergeant Quash. You know, usually he do the Wednesday law class, but, you know, he jammed up. So we're going to get it on tonight, you feel me? And tonight we're going to get it on about how God's chosen people never wanted to be God's chosen people. Like, what we got to understand is it's so clear and cut that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is the children of God, is the children of the Bible, that it don't even make no sense. You feel me? Because we never wanted to be God's chosen people. Everybody is like in the Bible, and we're finna go into it tonight, just different accounts how we just did not want to be on the Lord's side. We want to do our own thing. And right now today, all other nations, they all got a God, and they love their God dearly. You feel me? They love their God dearly. But us, you feel me? We don't want to serve our God, which is Yahweh. You feel me? We want to be Christians, Muslims. I'm hearing talks about famous people that died was like whatever the East Indians serve. Whatever they serve, like Michael Jackson and stuff like that, Tina Turner. And it's just crazy, you feel me? It's just crazy to hear that. Salakia. But yeah, it's just crazy to hear that. You feel me? All these famous people, they never reached and searched out to see who our God was. And that's the same thing we did in the Bible, you know, and we ain't going to go off on heart, you know, we're going to get it on. We're going to get into it tonight, how, you know, the original 12 tribes and us in the past, because that was us in the past that was doing the stuff we was doing in the Bible, and we doing it again today. So yeah, so we're going to start off in Isaiah, the 30th chapter. Isaiah, the 30th chapter. So we in the book of Isaiah 30 and 9. It say that this is a rebellious people. Now, rebellious, you know, that's just what we talking about. You feel me? Rebellious is just not following orders. And the Most High is saying we just a rebellious people. Like we just like see what we gotta understand is we not the greatest people on earth. We not the best basketball players, football players, scientists, first heart surgeon, sent the rockets to the moon, and we could go on and so forth. They got books about all the black inventions. But that stuff is not because you black or you Hispanic. That's because we the chosen people of God. If God would have chose the East Indians, they would have Michael Jordan and Dr. J and Michael Vick. But the Most High didn't choose them, he chose us. That's why we so great. See, we take that for granted. We take for granted that the reason why we so great is because God chose us a long time ago, before we came out our father's loins. Feel me? Like we did a class about yesterday about Isaac, how Isaac and Christ is the same person. You feel me? When we was in Isaac's loins before Jacob came out, and Jacob, spread his seed, and we became the 12 tribes, we was already picked. That's why we the best at everything. It's not because you black. You feel me? Like people think, just because you black. Like, no, it's because you the chosen people of God. But Isaiah is saying this, which of course he got from the Most High. He say, Isaiah 30:9, that this is a rebellious people. Lying children, lying, of course. That's all we do all day, all night, lying. Children that will not hear, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. And that's just how we feel. That's why we so piled up in the Christian church. Because us and I.S.U.P.K, we prophesying the truth to our people. And what you got to understand is the truth hurts. Feel me? Ain't no doubt about that. The truth hurts, man. The truth hurts, and it's always going to hurt because you just want what these people wanted. It say, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So we would rather be lied to than told the truth. That's why when we at camp, people looking down on us. The bucket of money we sit out there, the bucket, which is really for show. We really don't need y'all money. We just do it for show. The bucket is not filled to the rim with dollar bills and change and all that. You feel me? The bucket is not filled to the rim. The bucket is almost empty when we leave camp sometimes. Because we not prophesying good things. We ain't making you feel good like the Christian church. That's why the Christian church pastor riding off in a Bentley. Because he telling you all type of lies and stuff that ain't going to never come true. It ain't going to never come true and ain't going to never happen. You feel me? See, I'm going to read it again. Isaiah 30:10. Which say to the seers, see not. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things and prophesy deceits. So people will rather you prophesy lies to them, you feel me, than you tell them the truth. And that's just like black women. Black women will rather you lie to them than you tell them the truth. You feel me? Now that's for sure. A woman would rather tell her she the only one than you tell her you got another wife. You feel me? She would rather you lie and then find out 10 years later you got 2 kids on the side. Then now she blowing up your car. She coming up to your job, busting windows, and you feel me? She'd rather you lie to her though, because it just feel good. Then you tell her the truth, and that's all of us as a whole. You feel me? That's all Israel. It ain't just all black women. That's us as a whole. We'd rather be lied to than told the truth, man. Box of cigarettes say you can die, catch cancer. You still gonna go buy them, tap the back of it, smoke on them all day. You feel me? So many people then killed people, then died, went to jail, and they was high. The reason why, because they was high off weed. But they still tell you weed ain't a drug. It's just from the earth. You feel me? Because that's what they'd rather hear. You feel me? Prophesied deceits. That's what the children of Israel was saying all the way back then, which is us right now. Prophesied deceits. So yeah, we could drop that because now we finna get into like the original children of Israel. Because we got to understand the original children of Israel was wicked as hell. That's what people got to understand. The original children of Israel was wicked as hell. But like I said, we was chosen before we came out of our father's loins. You feel me? The original 12 tribes was chosen before we even came out. But a lot of people think, especially the Christians, they think that the original 12 tribes of Israel was like some righteous people walking around with wings on, kissing babies and doing all this and that. They was wicked as hell. So lucky. So yeah, we in where we at? We in Genesis 35 and 22. Genesis 35 and 22. And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in the land. Now this is talking about our forefather Israel, the person, not, us as a group. This is talking about him like as the person. Israel dwelt in the land that Reuben went and lay with Belial, his father's concubine. And Israel heard of it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. You feel me? So Reuben was the oldest son. You feel me? You know, they said the oldest son supposed to be the leader, the smartest, all that. Reuben, which is the so-called Seminole Indians today, which is the tribe of Reuben, Reuben went and slept with his father's wife. It say concubine, but you have sex with a woman, that's your wife. Feel me? Point blank, period. All that BS, we ain't hearing it. He went and slept with his father's wife, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. God's chosen people. We never wanted to be God's chosen people, man. Reuben, that was some nasty stuff. You feel me? That's some nasty stuff. That's in the law of Moses. Now, Moses ain't around at the time, but guess what? Adam had that law. The breath of life, that went into Adam. He passed that down all the way to Noah. Noah passed that down to his sons. And it went all the way through Abraham. That's why Abraham was called God's friend. God called Abraham his friend. Abraham passed that down to Isaac. Isaac passed it down to Jacob. And for sure, Jacob told Reuben, you ain't supposed to have sex with none of my wives, which is your stepmamas, you feel me? Like straight like that. So yeah, like I'm saying, the original 12 tribes of Israel, our forefathers, they was some wicked motherfuckers. I almost got checked. They was some wicked, they was some wicked bastards, man. You feel me? They was doing some wild stuff. And we finna read about it tonight. That's what we finna read. It's a law class. Wednesday law class, I.S.U.P.K, Kentucky. Wednesday law class. You feel me? So where we at? Genesis 35 and 22. And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in the land that Reuben went and lay with Belial, his father's concubine. And Israel heard of it. And the sons of Jacob were 12. So yeah, Reuben, he did a real abominable thing, having sex with his father's wife. That was disgusting, man. That's one of the most disgusting things you can do. And he did it. And he's one of the original 12 tribes. He's the father of the Seminole Indians today. The Seminole Indians you see, they descend from Reuben, the firstborn. And he was the firstborn. So he was the one supposed to get the blessing. He was supposed to get the blessing from his father. You feel me? But now we finna see who got the blessing because of what he done. Because what he done was so evil and so wicked. You feel me? So yeah, we're going to drop that. And we can go to First Chronicles. First Chronicles 5 and 1. First Chronicles 5 and 1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, before as much as he defiled his father's bed. Now that's when he had sex with his father's wife, his concubine, Belial. You feel me? That's his brother's mama, man. That's nasty, man. That's some nasty. That's why I say God's chosen people never really wanted to be, if you want to keep it real, never wanted to be God's chosen people, man. And that's what the class about tonight. This is a law class, you feel me? And we finna go into a lot of stuff that the original 12 tribes did and what we done in the past, you feel me? That just proved that we really never want to be God's chosen people. But because our forefathers took that oath from the Most High, we ain't got no choice now. And we got to keep these laws or die. We got to keep these laws or it's going to be more George Floyd's. It's going to be more Breonna Taylor's. It's going to be more, well, I can't think of the old lady name that got pulled out the car. She's 70 years old, man. They beat her like a dog. Feel me? It's going to be more Sandra Bland's, man. It's not going to stop. This is of the Most High, man. The Most High is doing this because we is a rebellious people. Like Isaiah, bro, we rebellious, man. We want to get high and party. That's all we want to do. When we don't know that we was put here to be the salt of the earth. We supposed to be on top of everybody. All we had to do was keep the laws. And that's what Christ came back for. Because we broke the laws. And he was bringing us back to the Most High. You feel me? So yeah, we in 1 Chronicles 5 and 1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but for as much he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel. You feel me? So now Joseph, they got the blessing. That's how Joseph got the blessing. You feel me? Because of Reuben gave it up. because he wanted to be an adulterer. He wanted to be an adulterer, which is a death penalty offense. And luckily, the law of Moses wasn't out at the time. But if the law of Moses was out at the time, Reuben would have been put to death. He would have been by law, he would have been had to be put to death for having sex with his father's concubine. You feel me? One of his brother's mother. I can't think of the exact which one of the tribes Belial gave birth to, but that's his brother's mother. You feel me? To make it even more nasty, if you're just looking at it like, oh, that's his father's concubine. Well, that's his brother's mother. You feel me? That's disgusting. For his birthright was given unto his son, the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel, and a genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright. For Judah prevailed above his brethren. Now, Judah is the so-called African Americans. So-called African Americans is the tribe of Judah. And of him came the chief ruler. Now, instead of the chief ruler coming out of the Reuben, the Seminole Indians, the chief ruler came out of Judah. You feel me? Of him came the chief ruler, which was who? King David, then Solomon, then it was passed all the way down to Christ. Christ came out of the seed of David. You feel me? Instead of that coming out of Reuben, it came out of the tribe of Judah. Because Reuben did some abominable stuff, man. Some stuff that could have got him killed, and he wouldn't even been a tribe. If it wasn't for that, the law of Moses not being in effect at the time, he could have been killed, and Seminole Indians wouldn't even be a tribe. You feel me? Seminole Indians wouldn't even be a tribe. But yeah, we can we will keep going. We're going all the way to the end of verse 2. But the birthright was Joseph. So basically, instead of Reuben being the man and the Seminole Indians being the top tribe, it's the tribe of Judah and Joseph. You feel me? Which is really is talking about the Puerto Ricans. You feel me? The Puerto Ricans is the chief tribe of the northern kingdom, and Judah is the chief tribe of the southern kingdom. You feel me? Reuben just one of the tribes, which is still important. You feel me? Still important. Still a blessing to be the original 12 tribes of Israel. Be the children of Israel is a blessing, because at the end we get the earth, we get to rule the earth. But at this time, you feel me? That was some wicked stuff he did, and his tribe, you feel me, lost leadership among the other tribes. To now where, like the scriptures say, for Judah prevailed above his brethren, and him came the chief ruler, but the birthright was Joseph. You feel me? The birthright was Joseph's, though. And that's because Reuben did some abominable stuff. And that's what I'm saying. The chosen people of God, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, never wanted to be the chosen people of God. Otherwise, we would have done what we were supposed to do. We would have kept the laws, but we didn't keep the laws. We did what everybody else wanted to do. You feel me? We did what everybody else wanted to do. So yeah, I'm going to drop that, and we can go back to Genesis, the 34th chapter. Genesis 34:1. Genesis 34:1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah. Now Leah is one of Jacob's wives, and Dinah was our sister. You feel me? That was the original 12 tribes of Israel. That was their sister. Which she bare unto Jacob, and went out to see the daughters of the land. So, she basically envied, just like how black women today envy white girls. That's basically what Dinah did. Dinah, she envied the daughters of the land. So instead of her just being amongst her brethren, her kinsmen, she decided to basically go see what the daughters of the land was doing. Just like black women do today. You feel me? They want to be like white girls. They want to wear blonde hair. You feel me? They want to get butt injections. Because I don't understand why black women want to get butt injections when they getting butt injections to be like you. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian women don't need to get butt injections. That's something white girls was doing to be like you. Just like white princesses and queens used to wear them dresses with the hump in the back. Because the original princesses and queens, the black queens and black princesses, in the 1500s, they was thick. Like, just keep it real. They was thick, just like black women today are thick. Hispanic women are thick. So them trying to model after their shape, they was wearing dresses with a hump in the back. Just like now today, they getting butt injections. So that's what Dinah did. She went to go see the daughters of the land. So basically, she wanted to do what they was doing. Feel me? Take they men and stuff like that. Feel me? Cause that just means you want to be, you don't want to be the chosen people of God. Just like Dinah, she was one of the daughters, you feel me, of Israel. And she didn't want to be. She wanted to go see what the daughters of the land was doing. You feel me? Just like our sisters today, they want to see what the daughters of the land are doing. So yeah, we in Genesis 34:1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. So now, she didn't basically interracial marry. Dinah, one of the original 12 tribes, sisters. You feel me? Dinah, that's Israel's, Jacob's daughter. You feel me? She went and had sex with a Hamite, an African. What did it say he was? He was a Hivite, the Africans. She went to go have, because first she went to go see what the daughters of the land was doing. And then, after she done that, what she done? She didn't end up having sex with the prince of the land. You feel me? Went and had sex with the prince of the land. Like I said, the original children of Israel, they did not want to be the chosen people of God. But we had no choice because our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, took an oath. That's why you should never take an oath unless you plan on carrying it out. But the thing about it was with Jacob and, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob taking an oath, it was for the children. It wasn't for them. It was for the children to come out of Jacob. It was going to be blessed. Feel me? Among everybody on the earth. And so when we started spreading out, we realized how hard of a burden it was to serve the Most High and how easy it was to just do what the heathens do. Because the heathens, that's why the Bible always compared the heathens to animals. Feel me? Like the so-called white man was compared to a serpent. You feel me? And the other races are beasts of the field. But the so-called white man was called a serpent because he was the slickest among all of them. But they was always compared to animals because that's how they live. They lawless, and they do what they want to do. So yeah, we could drop that. We could drop that and drop down to verse 25. Because yeah, we're just going to read a little bit more into what she done and what she caused. You feel me? Because like we know with Adam and Eve caused the flood. By, serpent finessing her, she finessing Adam. They sons start having sex with the daughters of men. Then the flood came. So women is diabolical. I'm telling you, women can cause wars. Like if you from the ghetto, If you from the hood, women can cause wars where people are dying left and right. And it was all over a female. You feel me? Over some box. It was all over some box. So yeah, we can lock it. So yeah, we in Genesis 34 and 25. And it came to pass on the third day when they were sore. Okay, let me give you a backdrop before we get into that, because I had to skip it just for time's sake. But now, okay, they sister and took the heathen prince, had sex with him. So now the heathen prince father trying to come finesse Israel, Jacob, to let him take their daughter to be the wife and all this, and they take their daughters, and the brothers wasn't really feeling that. You feel me? Especially Simeon and Levi. They wasn't really feeling that. But they said, y'all at least got to be circumcised. Y'all at least got to be circumcised, and then, maybe we can handle some business. You feel? That's basically what they told. They say, yeah, before we get in all that, y'all got to at least be circumcised before we start taking y'all daughters, and y'all take our daughters and this and that. So all them Africans in that city they was in, they got circumcised. Now, mind you, these grown men, they grown men. Now, babies get circumcised. You a little baby, you don't even remember it. But you a grown man and you get circumcised, man. Look, I don't know nothing about that, but I'm just saying I can imagine that it's a terror. It's a terror on you. You feel me? So that's basically what's going on, and now we getting to that point where they done got circumcised. So yeah, so we in Genesis 34 and 25. And it came to pass on the third day when they were sore that the two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. So basically, Simeon and Levi was real slick. They was mad about dude, having sex with their sister, man. They wasn't feeling that. That's why I say Simeon and Levi wasn't feeling that, man. They wasn't feeling that at all. But what they was doing at the time was being disobedient. You feel me? Because what they was supposed to do was seek counsel from their father and ask their father, like, look, man, we got these Africans slipping. They done took our sister, man. We don't want none of they women. They took our sister, though. Can we get them while they sore? They got circumcised. We can get them. Jacob would have told them no, because they outnumber them. It's not a good thing to do. But they did not seek counsel. They was being disobedient. And you finna see what's finna happen next. So it said, it came to pass on the third day when they were sore that the two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. Yeah, we're going to 30. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. So so they killed the prince and the king of that city that they was in, and all the males. All the men, they was some savages. That was savage, I ain't gonna lie. That was real savage. But still, man, that was not what Jacob wanted. They was being real disobedient, and they could have got all of them killed. You feel me? If the Lord not have been with them. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city. So they also robbed the city. They didn't only just kill all the men. They took all the gold, the sheep, all that stuff. They spoiled the city. Because they had defiled their sister. And it was all because of fam had sex with their sister. They did not approve of that marriage. The father nor the brothers approved of that marriage, and they was not feeling that. Feel me? They was not feeling that. But this is some rebellious stuff, though, because they acting off their own accord, man. They father is their leader, man. They father did not give none of them orders. None of them orders that they done, did they father give. They just done all that stuff. Simeon and Levi did all that stuff on their own. And Simeon and Levi Simeon is the Dominicans, Levi is the Haitians today. You feel me? Those are the people that came out of them. Feel me? Just to show you what type of people these is they some savages. You feel me? But yeah, where we at? Verse 28. They took their sheep and their oxen, their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field. And all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in their house. So they didn't got slaves. You feel me? Simeon and Levi wasn't for none. They said, all right, cool. Y'all, you took my sister. All right, bet. Had sex with her. So they finessed them, made all of them get circumcised, killed the king, killed the prince, killed all the men, the soldiers. And they took the women, took the kids, took the money, took the animals. And watch what you finna see Jacob finna say. You would think Jacob would have been excited. And all the wealth and all their little ones and their wives took they captive and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me. That's what they father said. Jacob told them, after all that stuff they done, all the stuff they came up on, say, you have troubled me. You feel me? That's what he told them, man. So, like, you thinking you don't got to follow orders, man, because you might be doing the right thing, you can still be doing the wrong thing. Because they killed all these men, the prince, the king, took all the money. They got all this money. They got slaves. They got a whole bunch of women. And Jacob still told them, and Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. So that's what Jacob was worried about. Jacob was more worried about, they health, they life, rather than the money, because he know what the Most High provide. And vengeance is mine, I will repay, said the Lord. You feel me? That's what the scriptures say. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, say of the Lord. Vengeance is of the Lord. You feel me? That's who vengeance is. It's of the Most High. It's not of you. You taking your little 38 or your little 40 with the 30 in it, thinking you finna make the Most High happy, man. That's not how it's going to go. Because these men, they killed, the Simeon and Levi killed all the men, the prince, the king, took all the women, the children. So they got slaves. They took all the money, all the animals and everything. And their father still wasn't happy, man. He still wasn't excited. Because he knew that it's more of them than it is of us. And they can kill us all if the Lord not be with us, man. If the Lord not be with us, they can kill us all. You feel me? Being disobedient. Acting off emotion. They was greedy, disobedient, and emotional all at the same time. You feel me? And these is the original 12 tribes we talking about. This ain't talking about us after. Like, this is I'm talking about the original 12 sons. They were some greedy, disobedient bastards, man. I'm telling you, that's why I say the God's chosen people never wanted to be. We wanted to do what we want to do. Just like everybody else do what they want to do, we did too. But we had a duty to uphold. And that was to keep these commandments, man. That was to follow orders, man. That was to follow orders. So, yeah. We can drop that and we can go to Genesis 37th chapter. 37 and 27. Look up Genesis 37 and 27. Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. So I'm going to just give you a backdrop of what's going on for time's sake. You feel me? We just going to get to the meat. But I'm going to just give you a gist of it. You can go read it on your own. So what happened was, you know, like I said, it's original 12 tribes we talking about. And Joseph was, now that's their youngest brother at the time. Joseph, he had a vision, like he had a gift from the Most High to be able to interpret dreams. And their father loved him the best because he made a coat of many colors. And they was jealous. They was jealous of their brother, man. You feel me? They sold Joseph because they was jealous. But that's what we finna read about what they done. That's why I said the original 12 tribes, we never wanted to be God's chosen people, man. Otherwise, we wouldn't have never done this to our own brother. You feel me? So yeah, basically that's what's going on now. That's the gist of what this led up to. They were just hating on Joseph because Joseph told them they was going to bow down to him. You feel me? Because he interpreted it in a dream. And it came to pass in Egypt too, where they bowed down to him. But yeah, so we in Genesis 37 and 27. Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, those the Arabs, who had a big hand in our slavery, you feel me, in the transatlantic slave trade as well, which is ironic. Let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, and he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content. And there passed by Midianites, merchant men, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. So yeah, so they sold their brother, man. That was their blood brother. Can you imagine selling your blood brother because you jealous of him, man? You got to be crazy. So like, you got to be crazy, man, to want to sell your blood brother because he got a gift that you ain't got. He got a gift that you ain't got. You mad because his father loved him more. Like, ain't nothing wrong with having a favorite son. You got favorite son. Everybody got favorite sons and daughters and this and that, cousins and best friends. And this is my favorite wife out of all of them. And it's like, man, come on, man. Let's just keep it real. Everybody got favorites, man. But he still loved all of them the same. They all got the blessings as being the children of the Most High. You feel me? At the end of the day. But they sold their brother for 20 pieces of silver to the Arabs, man. Sold them in Egypt. And luckily, the Most High was with Joseph because he saved Egypt. And by him saving Egypt, he saved the Israelites from famine. And, you know, we all know what happened with the Exodus and all that. You feel me? But yeah, it was all because they sold Joseph because they was on some jealous BS. Because Joseph was favored by their father. You feel me? Which is, Joseph is the father of the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans today. So yeah, we could drop that and we can go to Exodus the 2nd chapter. Exodus the 2nd chapter, verse 11. It's Exodus 2 and 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren. So now Moses was mighty up in Egypt, you feel me? But Moses, like, you know, he got tired of that, you feel me? He wasn't no Uncle Tom, he wasn't no coon. So now he going out to see what's up with his brethren, man. Like I'm trying to tell you, man, God's chosen people, man, never wanted to be. It just was because we was already picked before we came into the earth, you feel me? We was already picked to do this duty. And we had to, but we were death, the curses, you feel me? Deuteronomy 28 chapter, you feel me? But yeah, so anyway, it say Moses was grown and he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. So now he mad. He see an Egyptian, you know, playing crazy with his brother, man. He wasn't feeling that, man. He wasn't feeling that at all, you feel me? And that's brotherhood. That's brotherhood, something that we lack now, you feel me? Something that we always lack. We always lack brotherhood, man, but because of the, you know, Commander GEN.YAHANNA, I.S.U.P.K, all that stuff is coming back together, man. All that, Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, Native Americans, African Americans, we all coming back together, man, you feel me? Because the Most High Christ raised up Commander GEN.YAHANNA, man, to do this work, man. To pave the way for Christ the right way this time, unlike John the Baptist did. So yeah, so he say he looked upon his burdens and he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. So he acknowledged that the Hebrews was his brothers, you feel me? He acknowledged that. And he looked this way, he looked that way, and when he saw there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hit him in the sand. So he slew the Egyptian and hit him in the sand. That's brotherhood. That's brotherhood, but the only thing about it was, like, and we finna get into it, it's just like, it should have came back, you feel me? Like the brotherhood he showed, it should have came back. But like I said, we God's chosen people, but at the end of the day, God's chosen people, they never wanted to be. Like we had to be taught. That's what Christ came back for. You feel me? We had to be taught that, like, man, we got to keep these commandments, man. Like, we got to keep these commandments, man. That's why the Most High sent Esau on us like that. You feel me? As a whipping stick. You feel me? To get us to keep these commandments, man. To come back to him. And he, Salaki, where we at? All right, we in verse 13. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said unto him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made a prince and a judge over us? So now, you feel me? He's seeing 2 Hebrews, you know, fighting, and he trying to break it up. And they instantly go in on him. You feel me? They instantly go in like, who is you? You ain't nobody, man. So, like I'm saying, black on black crime ain't nothing new. You feel me? That ain't nothing new, you feel me? That's old as Egypt. Salaki. And he went out the second day, and behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him, what did the wrong? Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? So now they murmuring, they gossiping, they doing all, instead of hiding Moses for what he done, they gossiping. Because you got to understand, okay, he killed the Egyptian and hit him in the sand. The Egyptian was smiting the Hebrew. So the Egyptian was in the Hebrews' land when he was doing that. So all the Hebrews seen it. So instead of the Hebrews acting like ain't nothing happened, you know, the no snitch rule that's going on in the hood, they was gossiping about it. They telling everybody about it. You feel me? So like what the scripture say, intendest thou to kill me as thou killed the Egyptian. Man, I'll tell you, this is black people we reading about, man. This is not nobody else, man. You got to be a fool if you think this is anybody else we reading about. And he said unto him, no, that's the wrong scripture. So yeah, we in verse 10 at the end of the verse. And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. So now Moses like, dang, they gossiping like a mother. That's basically what he was saying. He said, surely this thing is known. So instead of y'all keeping it on the low, y'all supposed to be my brothers, man. Yeah, I'm high and mighty in Egypt, but y'all supposed to be my brothers. Why is y'all snitching on me? Why is y'all telling all my business? So Moses like, man, surely this thing is known, man. Got to get up out of here. So yeah, so we in verse 15, Exodus 2 and 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by the well. So now Moses got to run and hide because of snitching. Because people snitching on him, you feel me? So now he got to run and hide because instead of the Hebrews keeping it on the low, looking at what he did, like, man, that was just. He was beating up an Egyptian. We tired of them whipping us. We tired of this hard bondage. They gossiping about it. They snitching, and it done reached all the way up to Pharaoh. And it reached all the way up to Pharaoh. You feel me? But that's you feel me? That's us, man. Like I said, God chosen people never wanted to be. Never wanted to be. We had to be. It was our obligation. It was overtaken by our forefathers. So we ain't got no choice, man. We ain't got no choice at all. No choice at all. So like where we at? So yeah, we in the book of Numbers. Book of Numbers, the 11th chapter. We're gonna keep it going. That's what we're gonna get into tonight. That's what we doing. We just talk, it's a law class, I.S.U.P.K, Kentucky. And we just talking about how that God's chosen people, sad to say it, never wanted to be his people. God showed we never wanted to be his people. You feel me? And that's just what we finna get into. And it's a sad thing too. But luckily, our forefathers was on our side and they took that oath. You feel me? They took that oath, and now all we gotta do is keep the commandments. And that's our job as priests in I.S.U.P.K, to just go teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that you don't got no choice. The choice was chosen for you. You don't got no free will. You keep the commandments or you die. Keep the commandments or you can die. You can die a sinner's death. You know what a sinner's death is? A sinner's death is not dying of old age. That's getting shot down by the police. That's getting shot in the head at a party. You feel me? That's dying of cancer, lung cancer, at 35 years old from smoking weed since you was 17. Diabetes and heart blood pressure, you feel me, from eating all that pork and shrimp and crab. That's a sinner's death. That's not a righteous death. Righteous death is dying 70, 80 years old with a bunch of grandkids. Your grandkids almost grown. You almost got great grandkids. That's a righteous death right there. That's a righteous death. So yeah, we can so we in Numbers 11 and 4. Book of Numbers 11 and 4. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. So now we done made it out of Egypt, and it's a mixed multitude. The mixed multitude is people that believe Moses and people that just left because they had to. As simple as that. The mixed multitude was people that was left Egypt because, man, look, Moses is that nigga. Moses, everything Moses doing, I'm with it. Whatever he say doing it, I'm doing it. Then it's another group that's like, I just left because, they told us we had to. The Most High killed all the firstborn, in Egypt. So they told us we gotta go. So I'm out of here. You feel me? Then that, the army died in the Red Sea. So I what else we supposed to do? That's what the mixed multitude was. Israelites that believed and Israelites that didn't. Feel me? And that's the same thing going on today. We got Israelites that believe and Israelites that don't. Would be considered Gentiles. So yeah, we in Numbers 11 and 4. And the mixed multitude was among them, fell a lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? So now they complaining, they worrying about how they gonna eat. Knowing the Most High gonna provide, they crying because they just want anything to cry about. Just like today, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians just want anything to cry about. Just anything to cry about. We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely. So now these them Uncle Tom coons. They worried about what happened in Egypt. Egypt is over with. The army drowned in the Red Sea. All the firstborn died, but they still thinking about Egypt, man. And that's how Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. You feel me? Because she looked back at Sodom and Gomorrah when she supposed to kept it going. The cucumbers and the melons and the leeks, the onions and the garlic. Feel me? So they remembering Egypt. So instead of worrying about building the kingdom of Israel, they still worried about Egypt. They still want to remember Egypt. And that's what's going to happen with us. And that's why the Bible say 2/3 going to die. Now we pray to the Most High that he change his mind, but that's up to him. 2/3 of Israel is going to die because they not going to believe. They're going to be the mixed multitude when we leave out of America. When we leave out of America, it's going to be another mixed multitude. And them 2/3 of them, it's going to die. They're going to die with our oppressors, man. They're going to die with our oppressors. You feel me? Just like the mixed multitude. The mixed multitude was complaining about Egypt. Just like it's going to be a mixed multitude complaining about America. Knowing we the children of God, seeing God saved us, they still going to be crying about eating at Ruth Chris or eating at Chipotle. Chipotle or whatever, man. Gucci, they going to want Gucci sandals. We going to the promised land, they worried about Gucci sandals and stuff. Hey, God's chosen people never wanted to be. But like I said, we ain't got no choice. We ain't got no choice. Feel me? We have to serve the Most High or you can die. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's what we say. Numbers 11:5. We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. Feel me? Yeah, that's what's gonna be going on just real shortly. Just give it real. Feel me? Let North Korea do one more bomb test. You feel me? One more bomb test. Let China do one more cyber attack. Let the Arabs do one more thing to Israel. And there's gonna be another World War. And there's gonna be another Exodus, man. And there's gonna be a lot of people complaining about not getting that steak from Ruth Chris. Feel me? Taste of Texas and Whataburger and Chipotle and Portillo's and all the restaurants that they love to go to, Waffle House and stuff like that. Be people complaining. And them gonna be them same people that was complaining. That was the mixed multitude. So yeah, we could drop that. Yeah, we be in the Old Testament for a minute. For you Christians that scared of the Old Testament. Because it exposed your sins and your demons. Yeah, so we in Judges 13:5. So we're gonna get into Samson for a minute. Not too long, but Samson was more proof that we just never wanted to be the chosen people of God. We just didn't. But hey, we ain't got no choice. And I think the Most High, I want to clap it up for the Most High. Clap it up one time for the Most High in Christ that we don't got a choice. You feel me? Because how bad would it be if we wasn't the chosen people of God? And we was the Chinese or the Africans. Come on, man, stop it. So I just want to clap it up for the Most High, man. You feel me? Rakadai Yahweh Shai, that they let us be the children of the Most High. They chose us, chose Jacob instead of Ammon or Moab or Ham. You feel me? Most High in Christ, that they chose us to let us do this work. You feel me? So yeah, we in Judges 13:5. And it say, for lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Now, this is a prophecy to Samson's parents. This is about Samson. And the Philistines at the time was like what the white people are today to us. our oppressors, the so-called white man, what they are today. They just a burden, a heavy burden, and they just won't get off our neck. They just won't get off our neck for nothing. You feel me? And that's the Philistines. The Philistines are the so-called South Africans today. Nelson Mandela and all them. Those are the Philistines. At one time, we was at war with the Philistines the same way we are with our oppressors today. You feel me? How they oppressing us now, that's how the Philistines was doing us during the time of Samson. And that's why it was a prophecy that he was going to rise up. You feel me? And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. You feel me? This is before King David killed Goliath, who also was a Philistine and all that. So yeah, this is about Samson. So yeah, we can jump over to Judges 14:1. And Samson went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Now the law of Moses is out. It's out not to take a heathen woman, and you know it's out. The law is out. It's different when it happened with the you feel me, and all that, Reuben and them. The law of Moses is out. The judges, the priest is out. But somehow the child that was promised to deliver us out of the hands of the Philistines, the so-called South Africans, this is what he said. I seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. We never want to be the children of God. We didn't. But luckily the Most High don't go back on his word. It'll be ugly for us. It'll be so ugly for us. Luckily the Most High, you feel me, will not ever go back on his word that he says. Because he's not a man that he should lie. That's what the scriptures say. Scripture say the Most High is not a man that he should lie. And I thank the Most High, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, that he's not. Because we never want to be his people. We always rebelled against him, like Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, the 30th chapter brought out. We always rebelled against the Most High. You feel me? And Samson, he was chosen to deliver us out of the hand of the Philistines. But somehow, in Judges 14:2, at the end of the verse, he say, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. That is crazy. Verse 3. Then his father and his mother said unto him. Now they the ones got the prophecy from the Most High that Samson was going to be that nigga that lead us out of the hand of the Philistines. Which he did. But we ain't going to get into that. That's not the point of this when I'm bringing this out. Because he definitely did. It just wasn't the right way. If you know the story about Samson, how he got his eyes poked out and all that. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren? So now Samson was a Danite. Dan became a small family in the side of the tribe of Manasseh, which is the Cubans. So the tribe of Dan today would be so-called Cubans. Cuban got some of the best, prettiest women I've ever seen in my life. I'm just keep it real. The Cuban women are some of the prettiest women I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And this man said in verse 2, I have seen a woman of Timnah, the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her to me to wife. He want a stinking African. He want a stinking African when his tribe got some of the most baddest women on earth. So we drop down to verse 3 again. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, among the Danites, the so-called Cubans, or among my people? Now, when they say of my people, she's talking about of just Israel, period. Of Dan, first she said of Dan, of my brethren, Dan. Then she said, or of my people, of the Levites, the so-called African-American, the Levites, the so-called Haitians, Judah, the so-called African-Americans, Asher, you feel me? The South Americans, you feel me? The Puerto Ricans, which is Ephraim, the West Indians, which is Benjamin. She's saying like, dang, so like among all the 12 tribes, That's why she said among my people. So she's saying like among all of the 12 tribes, it's not one that you want. You want a stinking African, the people we've been at war with since we've been here. It's crazy. Then his father and his mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? You want an unclean African woman when you got the baddest women on earth in your kingdom? You feel me? Living amongst you, you got the baddest women, but you want a stinking African. Come on, man, stop it. You want a stinking heathen African, man. That's disgusting. And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleases me well. So he say, forget all the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Give me this African. I want this African. And who else did that? That's prominent. Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama, prominent, from the south side of Chicago, come from a great family. Her family is real prominent in Chicago. They like real high up as far as like, in politics. And she took an African, a South African. I mean, I don't know if he's from South Africa, Kenya, I don't know where that's at, but she took an African to be her husband. And that's the same thing Samson did. Samson, you feel me? He took an African to be his wife. Feel me? Samson was real prominent. He could have took somebody of his kinsmen, his brethren, and he took an African. You feel me? Just like Michelle Obama did. Oh yeah, Judges 1 and 3. So yeah, so that's basically it about that. Just reading how Samson was supposed to lead us out of the hand of the Philistines, but instead of just leading us out, he wanted to take one of them to wife before he led us out. Because he definitely did. It's like 3,000 or some of them died at some party where he was at. And he broke the pillars and the whole house fell down. But still, like, the whole point of that is he'd rather been an African than the children of Israel. Otherwise, he would have took one of the daughters of Israel to wife instead of one of them. So yeah, we could drop that and we go to 1 Samuel 8 and 5. And said unto him, behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. So this is about Samuel. Samuel, he was getting old like we do. And his sons became the high priest. And they say that sons walk not in thy ways. They running game. Samuel said nothing about his sons doing nothing wrong. This is just the people of Israel being rebellious like we always are. And Samuel being old and weak, we think now we could take advantage. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. So that was the whole point. Samuel's sons was not judging Israel wrong or doing nothing wrong. They just felt like they could take advantage of his sons rather than him. Because Samuel was a gangster. He was the high priest and he was a gangster. But now he old and his sons walking around. So they think they could take advantage of his sons. And they say, now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. So that's what it was. That's what was the point. Envying the nations. Envy. You feel me? It's a low class. Envy. Something you should not do. And not only they envying the nations. They was envying the nations. You feel me? It was envying the nations. That's why they wanted a king. They didn't want a king just because it just looked good. Because he really could do good things. They wanted a king because they was envying the Japanese, the Ammonites. They was envying the Moabites, the Chinese. They was envying the Africans, the Philistines, the Hittites, the Perizzites, all that. They was envying the Edomites, which is the so-called white people today. It was envying them. That's why they wanted a king. We had judges and priests. That's all we needed. We didn't need a king. But now we got one. We got one. And when he come back, a lot of people going to die. The Bible say 2/3 of just Israel, not even counting all the rest of the people. So we in verse 6. 1 Samuel 8 and 6. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Most High. So Samuel praying about this, like, man, I don't know about all this. Y'all is some rebellious, wicked bastards. I got to talk to the Most High. I'm not finna just do what y'all say. And the Most High said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me. So the Most High is smarter than we is. He's telling Samuel, like, Samuel, they not rejecting you. They not going against what you saying. They going against me. You feel me? They going against me. That's what the Most High is telling Samuel. Listen to them. They want a king? Give them a king. They ain't rejecting you. They rejecting me. You feel me? They don't like what I'm bringing to the table. They think they got better ideas than I got. But they have rejected me that I should not reign over them. So the Most High is jealous. He's a jealous power. And he's telling Samuel that they don't want me to run them, man. They want a man to run them. They want a man to run. They don't want me to run. They want a man to run them, man. You feel me? That's what he's telling Samuel. Like, man, look, listen to what they telling you to do. They not rejecting you. They rejecting me. It's the Most High. That's what he's saying. He's saying they rejecting me. They not rejecting you, Samuel. They don't want me to run over them. Because they just a rebellious people. Like we brought out in Isaiah the 30th chapter. You feel me? Verse 8. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day. You feel me? So the Most High saying, we, God's chosen people, we have rejected him since he brought us out of Egypt. All the wonders and stuff he showed us when he brought us out of Egypt, he's saying there's not never a time where he's seen that we did not reject him. So therefore, he's going to give us a king. That's what y'all want. All right, we'll see if that works. We'll see if that works. If that's what y'all want, you see, that's what's going to make y'all, you feel me? That's what's going to make y'all a nation. You don't need judges and priests. You need a king. You need one king, a man, to tell y'all what to do. All right, cool. Well, if they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto thee. They serve other gods. Served other gods. This is what the Most High saying. He's seen, man, since we came out of Egypt, that we ain't never want to be his people. That's what he's saying. That's basically what the Most High is telling Samuel. That listen to them. They want a king, give them a king. Because since I brought them out of the land of Egypt, they never served me anyway. They did nothing but serve other gods. I chose them when they was in their father's loins and they never respected me. So give them a king. Give them a king. All right, cool. That's what they want. Give it to them. Envy. Envying the other nations, man. Envying the other nations, man. I'm telling you. The original chosen people of God never wanted to be the chosen people of God. And today, we don't want to be the chosen people of God. That's why fake Israelite groups letting Africans in, letting white people in, having sex with white women. And then you got just Christians. Just straight up Christians. They just say, oh, God love everybody. When that's not in the Bible. You can't find that nowhere in the Bible. That is blasphemy. You blaspheme the Holy Spirit saying that God loves everybody. You're a goddamn liar. Where is it at? It's not in the Bible. It's not in there. It's not in there at all. It's like, yeah, we could drop that. We can go to Matthew 27 and 24. Matthew 27 and 24. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but rather a tumult was made. He took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am not innocent of the blood of this just person. It's like it. I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. So he's telling the children of Israel that basically forced him to kill Christ. That I don't see nothing wrong with this man. I don't know what he done, but y'all so adamant about it. The blood is off my hands. This is a just person. He's done nothing wrong. And then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. So the black leaders at that time said, don't worry about what he done. Now this Christ, this is the Messiah. He was to bring us back to the Most High because we've been nothing but a rebellious people. And the black leaders said, man, forget what you think. Let the blood be on us. Just kill him. Just kill him. They wanted Christ dead so bad. The Prince of Peace, the King of the earth, the Lamb. They wanted him dead so bad. You know why? Because we never want to be God's chosen people. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians never want to be God's chosen people. You mad black people don't want to be Israelites? No, what you mad for? They never wanted to be. God only loved black people? What you mad for? They never wanted to be. They never wanted to be God's chosen people anyway. So don't get mad when a black person or Hispanic don't believe in our doctrine. I don't get mad. When blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians don't believe what I'm saying, I don't get mad because it's in the Bible that they never wanted to be anyway. They want to do what the nations was doing. They want to do what everybody else was doing, man. God's chosen people never wanted to be God's chosen people. Feel me? It was forced on us, and it's a duty we got to uphold, or we're going to keep dying in the ghettos. Christ ain't going to come back if we keep playing around. You feel me? Matthew 27 and 25. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. So the black leaders took an oath. That's what we talking about tonight. These oaths. You feel me? The black leaders took an oath in front of Pilate and said, let the blood be on us and our children. You know who the children is? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the ghetto dying right now. Drug overdoses, the war on drugs, abortions. 500,000 abortions a year. You know why all that stuff happening? Because our black leaders back then in the time of Christ took an oath and said, let the blood be on us and our children. And that's exactly what you see today. Because we was a rebellious people. We never want to be God's chosen people. So right now, today, black people dying in America because of an oath our black leaders took. Because they was going to let Christ go. But our black leaders were so adamant about getting him killed that they said this. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them. And when he had scourged Yahushua, he delivered him to be crucified. So he was about to let Christ go. But instead, we decided to put the curse on us and our children. Feel me? So right now, today, George Floyd had a knee on his neck and died on camera. Died on camera. Trayvon Martin died because he had a hoodie on in the wrong neighborhood. Timmy Rice died because he had a toy gun that the police that killed him knew it was fake. Said he knew it was fake. All this stuff ain't happening for no reason. It's happening because our black leaders said, let the blood be on us. And that's exactly what we seeing today. We seeing the blood. We seeing what they asked for. In this scripture, what they asked for, we witnessing it. We witnessing it. So like, yeah, that's the end of that. So we'll drop that. Drop that and go to Luke. Book of Luke 5 and 10. 15 and 10. It's like, no, we got to get in the New Testament for the Christians. Christians don't be understanding nothing. Book of Luke. Now these Christ words. Luke 15. Also, Yeah, Luke 15:10. Likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repenteth. Good night. This was Christ saying. Christ saying, over one sinner that repenteth, there's rejoice and joy of the angels. We a nation of people, 12 tribes, scattered in all four corners of the earth. God's chosen people, the best people on earth. And Christ, out his own mouth, saying it's rejoice over one sinner that repent? Over one? You telling me we that wicked? We so much of wicked bastards that the angels is just so happy when one person changed his life. Not 20, 100. Just one person changed his life. That's what the scripture say. Luke 15:10. There is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repenteth. So if one sinner repenteth, it's joy and rejoice of the angels, because that's how many sinners it is in Israel, and it always been. That's how many sinners it always been in Israel, because we never want to be God's chosen people. Old, new, apocrypha, anything. We never want to be God's chosen people. So therefore, if one person changed their life, the angels rejoice. The angels rejoice. Them was Christ's words. That's what he said. Because we that wicked and evil, man. We that wicked and evil. And that's the point of the class. We never want to be God's chosen people. But that ain't our choice. It ain't up to us no more. It's up to the Most High. Feel me? It's up to the Most High. So yeah, we could drop that and we go into the Apocrypha. We go to 1 Maccabees 1:43. 1 Maccabees 1:43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So many Israelites sacrificed to his religion. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we in every religion on earth, man. Black people serve every religion. Every race don't serve every religion. But black people do. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you can find a black, Hispanic, Native Indian, ask them what religion they are, you'll get 100 different answers. Episcopalian, Baptist, Islam, Hebrew Israelite, Christian. You'll hear so many different stuff. Rastafarian, Buddhist. Because that's how we always been, man. We never want to be God's chosen people. Judaism. We following after the white Jew that stole our whole everything and bastardized it. Feel me? 1 Maccabees 1:43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, man. Consented to his religion. That's what we did. We consented to their religion, man. We consented to be like them. To do what they, what they do. And they is the nations. We always wanted to do what the nations did. Not what God said to do. Because we never want to be God's chosen people. But luckily, the Most High is a father and not a mother. Because guess what? We ain't got no choice. You keep these commandments or you die a sinner's death. You serving these other religions, you will die when Christ returns. You eating all these abominable foods, you're going to die when Christ returns. You serving other idols, you're going to die when Christ returns, man. And that's what we in I.S.U.P.K do. We're going ahead and wake up as many of the 12 tribes that we can before Christ return and put you to death with your enemy, who you think is your friend. You think they're your friend when really they're your enemy, man. Really they're your enemy. So we drop that and we go back to the Old Testament in Judges. Judges 10 and 14. Judges 10 and 14. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. That's the reason why we dying in the streets. That's the reason why we can't overcome. You know the song, we shall overcome. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Black people not going to stop dying in the streets. We're not going to stop dying before we supposed to, because we serve other gods. And this is in the Old Testament in Judges that the Most High was talking about us then, because we served other gods then. We want to be like everybody else, man. We always want to be like everybody else when we was the greatest. When we came out of our father's loins, we was the greatest. You feel me? But instead, we want to do what everybody else did, man. Judges 10 and 14. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Don't start praying when your little cousin got shot. Don't start praying because your baby mama ain't come home last night. Don't start praying when you find out your daughter or your son ain't yours. Don't start praying now. Don't start praying when you get fired or when your car get repossessed. Don't do that now. That's all judgment. But this is what the Most High said. Judges 10 and 14. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation, man. In the time of your troubles, let weed deliver you. Let crack deliver you. Let scamming and drug dealing and your mama and your nasty whore of a woman, let them deliver you, man. Let the white man deliver you. Let our oppressors deliver you, man. Let Farrakhan deliver you, man. Go let the fake Israelite groups deliver you in the time of your troubles, man. I bet you they can't. I bet you they can't, man. That's the reason why we dying in the streets. Because we don't want to be the children of God. We want to be everything else. Everything else we see, that's what we want to be. That's what we want to be. Anything else we see, we cool with that. We cool with anything else we see other than being an Israelite. Other than not eating pork, not eating shrimp, not eating crab, not celebrating Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July. We want to do everything but what God said to do. And we wonder why we living in such a evil, wicked condition that we in, man. Shit, we dropped that in last scripture we're going to bring out is going to First Maccabees, and back in the Apocrypha, First Maccabees, the 2nd chapter, verse 19 through 25. That's a story we always read on the Feast of Dedication, you feel me? It's a feast that we celebrate towards the end of the year. First Maccabees 2 and 19. Then Mattathias, which was a soldier at the time where a soldier was needed, answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, he's talking to the Greeks, and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent unto his commandments. So what he's saying, he's talking to the Greeks, because at the time the Greeks ruled the world, like how Rome ruled Egypt, America, and he's talking to them, saying like how all the nations came and consented and, gave in to your authority. He said, we ain't doing that. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. We keeping the laws, man. So you do whatever you want to do. All the Arabs, Chinese, the East Indians, the Africans, they all under you and they scatter you. But yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. Mattathias was a soldier. Death before dishonor. Death before dishonor is what he lived by. and he taught his sons to live by. And that's why they talked about and they celebrated on the Feast of Dedication every year. We will not hearken to the king's words. We ain't listening to you. You want us to do what? Eat pork? You want us to celebrate Zeus? And now we ain't doing none of that. To go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Look, man, we is hot. We not cold. We ain't doing none of y'all talking about. Forget whatever y'all saying. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion either on the right hand or the left. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Madin, according to the king's commandments. So now, after he said all this, some goofy, soft Uncle Tom coon walk up and eat the pork on the altar. After he done made this big, glorious speech, how we is not sinning against our forefathers. Some soft coon, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, whatever, Jay-Z walk up and he eat the pork. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal. So the Most High Spirit came upon him so heavy when he seen, after what he gave his good speech about not sinning against our God, to the Greek, for the Greek's sake, a Jew walk up, a coon, Uncle Tom walk up and eat the pork. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to the judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. So he hopped off that horse and he went and killed that man. That man that walked up and ate that pork, sacrificing unto the Greeks. Man, Mattathias wasn't feeling that. He killed that man right then and there on the altar. Also the king's commissioner. The guy that told them to eat the pork, that told them to sacrifice to their gods, he killed him too. Who compelled men to sacrifice. He killed at that time, and the pillar he pulled down. So also, he pulled down the pillar that they set up for all the Jews to sacrifice and eat pork to serve their gods, man. I'm telling you, that pork is symbolic, man. You don't understand how symbolic and evil that pork is. It goes all the way to the point where the Greeks try to get us to commit a sin against our God by eating it. And somebody thought it wasn't a big deal, so they walked up and tried to eat it on the altar, and Mattathias went and killed him, and the guy that told him to do it. Feel me? So like we saying, like, God's chosen people never want to be God's chosen people, but that's what the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander GEN.YAHANNA was set up for, to bring God's chosen people back to the laws and commandments and teach them that you ain't got no choice. Otherwise, you would be the next George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, and then you're going to be wondering why. You're going to be crying. And like Judges 10 and 14 brought out, it said, go cry to your gods that you chose. Don't cry now to me. Feel me? I.S.U.P.K Kentucky law class. So I'm going to read the security announcements, man. That's the end of the night's class. Read the security announcements real quick. With I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are to share themselves in the world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whether it's amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. I'll get more clarification on that in the future. Courtesy salute. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Barakatham, Yahweh Shema Thumba Hashem Yahweh Shai. I.S.U.P.K Kentucky law class dismissed.